don't wake me from this.
What's up, legends? LGG Alden here. Today I'm going to be showing you guys some tips and techniques for Rocket League. So the first thing I'm going to show you guys is positioning. So what to do and where to go depending on where you spawn in the arena. There are 5 positions you can spawn at. The one I am currently at is the center spot. So to play the center, usually the way it should work, depending on where everybody else is defending. Usually if you are in the center spot, no matter what, you should be the defender, because you are the closest to the goal and all you have to do is back up. A good trick to use is to grab the boost right up here and then go straight into the goal, and make sure you have ball cam on, because that is really important. So if they hit it and it bounces off a wall, you know exactly where the ball is, so you have the view of it and you know where it's going to go just in case it comes for your goal, which is really important. So that's primarily the center spot. Usually you want to wait just till it's on the enemy side of this arena to get out of the goal. That's usually the best move, just in case somebody fires it near you. And using a double jump, or holding one jump and doing another jump again, anything like that. But having the little bit of boost, the extra boost, is really important, because if a ball was to fly at you, then you can boost and you can hit it, and it will go a lot further than if you were to just hit it normally. Okay guys, so the second position I'm at now is basically the inner right. It's not the center, but it's a little bit off, but it's not all the way diagonal. So this is primarily the exact same way you would play it if it was on the opposite. So if you were on the left side, this isn't exact positioning, I'm just more of a guess. You would usually be somewhere around where I am right now. So the best way to play this is you have to figure out where everybody else is. So if you have a guy at either of the diagonal points, which I will get to after this, but if you have them at diagonal points, those are pretty much the major charging points. So that's where you would be the guy that would charge the ball. So if you have a guy already defending, he was at center like I showed before, he would go and defend and you would wait here. And what you would do is you would want to sit back around here. And if you've ever played a couple matches, you would occasionally see the way the lineups work is that the enemy team is the exact opposite layout of you. So if they're on the right diagonal, you're technically on the right, but it looks the opposite. So the way that would work is if both people from diagonals were to charge it and hit it head on, odds are is sometimes it doesn't move at all and it will just stay in the same spot. So you would want to rush up to it and you would want to hit it and get it towards their side of the goal. That's pretty much the whole goal. But if there is no center, so this is important, if there's no center position, nobody's playing center, then you would want to back up straight into the goal and you would play the exact same way that the center would play. So exactly how I explained it before. That's pretty much all there is to this position. That would be practically all you'd have to do if you were on this spot. And same thing if you were to be over here, it'd be about right here, maybe a little bit more over. Doesn't matter, but no matter what, that's how you would play that spot. If there is 2 people, occasionally you will have one guy in the center, one guy on the left, and one guy on the right, and they'll all be right here in the center. Then usually you both can rush it, because it doesn't matter. Whoever hits it first, whatever works. Or one person can rush, the other can wait back and play where you wait to see what happens and then go and charge it. That's sometimes the smartest. So basically just communicating is the key for this spot. So this is the diagonal spot. Right now I'm on the right side of it, but there is the left and the right diagonals, which are the final 2 positions you can spawn in. These you could practically consider as the charging. They are the ones that take the ball head on. No matter what, if you're diagonal, you're always going to be the closest to the ball, so you should always be the one to rush for it. Now, the thing about being the diagonal one is, so if I was to spawn here, there would be a guy on the exact opposite side of the ball. So they would be hitting it at the same angle that I am, unless they move around or whatever. But if you were to go to straight shot, you would want to go, and then you would hit this boost, and you would keep going. But the thing about it is, it tends to happen sometimes where you both hit it at the same speed, and then the ball stops, which is where, as I was explaining, the inner sides, or the inner left and right positions would go and hit it at that point. But all you need to worry about is usually just striking it. If there is a left and a right corner, which tends to happen, usually you could communicate. It doesn't really matter whether both go and hit it. One person could stay back a little bit and wait for it and see if the other person hits it first. It doesn't really matter. But a good shot to make from this one is you would want to rush up and you'd want to do a diagonal shot, so it would go straight into the goal, like that. That is the best way you can do it if you're the first one there. If you're lucky, the enemy would not hit it. They would not, like, sometimes they're slower, sometimes they don't go as fast to it, anything like that. So it's important to rush, go as fast as you can and hit the ball. Because the worst that can happen is it ties out and then the other person has to rush in and hit it. So no matter what, this is just the position that's always going to charge it. So there's two more things I want to explain about positioning before I move on to the next thing. For the way that I've been explaining it is if there's 3 people, usually 3, and I mean, of course you can play Chaos and there's 4, but if you play with 3, usually you have approximately one guy at least in a diagonal or some sort of inner left or right, and you usually will have a center of some sort, or one person that defends and 2 people that rush. But for instance, if you only have 2 people, the guy closest to the goal is usually the one you want to defend. If they're both diagonals, you could either both rush and hope it doesn't go to your goal, or playing smart, you could go straight to your goal just to defend in case and have one person rush. So one person though, that's where with one person, your probably smartest move is just rush it. No matter where you are, just rush, because the time it could take to defend, they could come up and they could hit it within that time and they could make it to their goal or to your goal if you're not blocking. So your best bet is just rush it. No matter where you are, if you're playing 1v1, just go for it. Okay, so the next thing I want to show you guys is all about landing, getting the right landing, and by doing like a flip, whether that be going off a wall, anything. So I'm going to show a couple examples. So the way you would want to do this is, say you're going, and this is for a flip, I'll show you. So doing the flip like that. So to land it, because landing it is a really important thing. If you mess up a landing, then you end up on like your back, on your side, anything, and that's not what you want. You don't want to end up like that because it will slow you down. So for doing a flip, the key to it, it depends on how fast you're going and the angle and everything. So to do it, you want to make sure that your car lands flat. So whether that be you're doing sideways, anything like that, you want to hold the key that you're doing till your car is basically, it looks level with the ground, and then you want to stop. But say you overdo it, then you want to pull it back and press the opposite of what you were doing. So that's really important. Like say you're going and you want to do a side flip like that. You got to land it right or else it will mess you up. So that's really important. Another thing is, so say you're going on the wall or you go on the ceiling. You want to land it right so then you can keep going. And that's really important, especially because you go upside down. And especially landing like that. Or another good example is doing this. Going in the goalie. That is really, like, because sometimes you go to shoot a ball and you miss and you end up in the enemy's goal. You want to land that right or else it could be bad. Like going up the walls, anything like that, it could just end up like a mess. So hitting it and landing right, anything, that's really an important thing to do in Rocket League. Especially, and you could get more advanced with it where, okay, you want to flip and make sure you're landing in the direction. That doesn't really matter for flipping, but when it comes to like going off the walls, you want to land it right. That's pretty much that. It is really important though, and it'll help a lot if you can land right. So practicing that is kind of essential. Okay guys, so the last thing I want to show you guys is sliding. As much as sliding just seems like it doesn't really matter and it's just kind of there, it really does make a difference, because if you think about it, oh, going in a circle, you could do it like that, but why not do it faster and slide? The way you slide, if you don't know, is by pressing the left shift, unless you've changed it, which if you've changed it, you probably know how to do it then. But sliding is kind of a tricky thing. You gotta do it right, you gotta time it right, and you have to do it depending on your speed and how far you want to turn. Because like if you want to turn just a little bit, you gotta go slow. If you want to turn a lot, you gotta hold it, and then you'll go around. Uses for this would be, okay, say you're going to your goal and you want to block a shot because, you know, it's coming over here and it's in your side of the arena, so you're like, okay, I need to get over there and block it. So if you're going fast, you want to turn before you even reach the goal, so that you could be like at least close to lined up. You could go, it's kind of a give or take, just a guess how close you need to be. Like that one's a little bit better. But if you're going slower, say you don't have boost, but yeah, you need to get over, then you kind of can wait till you're almost right on the goal, and then you'll be good. Another use could be hitting corners and keep going. So like you want to hit a corner to pick up boost, but you want to keep going. So that's a good use for it. You can even slide on walls if you need to. So if you go up the wall and you're like, and you need to get right back down because you're like, wait, I didn't mean to get up there, you can go like that. So that's actually pretty useful. Sliding is a major technique for it, because it's also a good way to stop. Like say you're going and you need to stop, you could stop at an angle instead of having to stop just straight and turn around like that. Anything, you don't have to back up, anything like that. So that actually works really good. That's all I got, guys. I know it was just common stuff, but it's very important to do everything I showed good. But there are a lot of ways of doing the things I showed, so don't feel like the way I did it is exactly how it should be done. I plan to do a more advanced tutorial eventually, where it will show more techniques, a lot more specifics, and it will use actual gameplay from matches, so you would know how it would be used for real in a real match. Hopefully you guys did learn something from this video. If you did, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe for more. If there is anything specific you guys would want to see in that more advanced tutorial, or if you have a better way or a different way that you could do what I showed you guys, go ahead and comment that. Thanks for watching, guys. Remember to be a legend, and I will see you guys next time.